November 3rd, 2025. Welcome to This Week in Waukesha, the podcast series. I am your very grateful host, Don Brown, Downtown Donnie Brown, and I'm coming to you from the office of former Alderman Don Paul Brown in our beautiful home in our beloved Banting Park neighborhood. I am joined, as always, by my extraordinary young producer, the mighty Max Martinson, working from his home studio in Cream City, and living his best life. Doing some, he's always doing something new for civic media, and so we'll get caught up with him on that score. And before I introduce our guest, we want to talk about this week in Waukesha. Want to shout out to the Hannons. Last Saturday they celebrated their 40th anniversary. They had a little bit of a bash there, and were you there, Rob?
I did not make it, but I heard it from my balcony.
No, so you live in, okay. So let's just jump into the intro, then we'll cover some more Waukesha. This is Rob Baxter, a very familiar face to anyone that grew up in Waukesha, especially went to Waukesha South High School.
Yes, sir.
And, Rob was kind enough to reach out to me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I'd love to be on your show." And I'm like, "Fantastic, let's do it." And we finally figured out a night, and I'm gonna read his bio from one of the big IMDb.com, the big movie entertainment info site.
And it's been a while since I've read or had it read to me. So Don,
this will be
what
a
a
surprise.
treat.
Okay, so it says R. Baxter. I don't know if that was your stage name. R. Baxter is a Los Angeles, California-based comedian and actor. We could, of course, not anymore. Wisconsin-born and bred or raised, Baxter made a bold move and decided to leave his parents' basement and head west. He can often be seen at the Improv and Comedy Store, where he is a paid regular. He can also be spotted in numerous television commercials. When not performing, he can be found at home, being really nice to puppy dogs and children. Oh, yeah, and polishing his craft of sarcasm.
That's right on.
So how many years ago did you return home to Waukesha?
I've been here now almost 4 years.
Almost
right
4 years.
after COVID is when I moved back to Waukesha.
It was probably a big kind of mass like migration, people coming back home from.
Yeah, and
town,
I
right?
mean, it almost was like a Hallmark movie because I had been gone for 24 years, so I would only visit weddings, funerals, maybe a birthday here and there.
Okay,
But
so you
yeah, I had lived in Los Angeles for almost 6 years.
okay, but you left home. You said 24 years ago in 1996.
Well,
About right.
let's go all the way back to 2 days before graduation.
Okay.
Now I'm going to set the stage. This is back when counselors could kind of give you the street talk, and now they probably couldn't say this. I was labeled a likable loser,
Okay.
destined to fail forward, and told I could not pay the bills telling silly stories and making funny faces. So I took that as a challenge.
That's a vote of confidence.
Yeah, well, back then it was like, there were no trade schools. You would either go to college or you were a weirdo. So I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and I'm sure you're aware of Frank Caliendo, another Waukesha
I saw
comedian.
him in Vegas. Yeah.
He got me started in comedy. He actually was
cool.
2 years behind me graduating from South.
Okay.
So I hooked up with him after high school. A couple years had gone by because I wanted to do comedy. Wasn't sure how to do it.
Yeah.
And hooked up with him. Went down to see one of his shows down at, it was called Stooges, down by the airport.
Oh,
now,
wow.
Here's the funny story. This is how I started doing stand-up comedy real quick, Don.
Sure.
So he talks to the manager, owner of the club and says, "Oh, this is my buddy Baxter. He does comedy all the time. Could he go up and do 5 minutes?" And she's like, "Oh, sure, Frank, anything for you." And I'm like, I've never done comedy before, but I'm like, okay. So they're like, "Well, we'll go up there for 5 minutes. We'll give you the light at 4. You finish up. Everything's good." I'm like, okay. Now, obviously, I didn't have anything prepared, so I just went up there, told a silly story because the counselor said, no way that would work. And I'm up there for a while, and I'm like, geez, I don't want to piss anyone off, but I haven't seen the light. I must have missed it. So I finish up, I get done, and I go up to the woman who owns it, and I said, I apologize, I didn't see the light. Oh, no, 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 you were doing such a good job. We didn't give you the light. And I'm like, how long was I up there? She's like, oh, about 7 minutes. I'm like,
That's
oh,
pretty
okay.
cool.
So
That,
I
yeah.
slowly started doing comedy, and then just like anyone else, you like, well, should I move out to Los Angeles and give it a real try or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
So I did that early in 2001 is
Okay.
when I moved out to Los Angeles.
Okay.
So from graduation until then, I went to CTC, UW Waukesha.
Sure.
Nothing, you know, nothing came of it. I was in mass media
Okay.
communications, but I
Sure.
kind of messed around in the
Okay.
non-core classes. And
And if I could interrupt for a second,
yeah,
Rob, speaking of mass media, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that This Week in Waukesha is a production of Civic Media in
mm,
cooperation with WAUK Radio, 540 AM, and Word Brown, using the power of words to change the world. And I encourage everybody to check out all the great programming on Civic Media, radio, podcasts, and wherever you travel. If you travel around the state, there is a Civic Media app. It's easy to download, and so you can choose whatever station you're looking for. And also too, when you go to civicmedia.us, you pick shows, and that's where you'll find the podcast section where my show can be found. So I had to throw that in there, Rob. As a
no, listen,
entertainment pro, I'm sure you can appreciate the.
I had to take a break. I'm often accused of being vain, so I didn't want to
No,
go off on a power tangent
that
there.
makes two of us. So no, I'm glad. Yeah, fellow windbag like me. No, I
Oh
love
my
it.
God.
So tell us, when you were at South, if you knew Frank Caliendo, then did you know John Zur, who was a good friend of,
Yep.
they played,
Yep.
yeah. So John's a neighbor. He was our kid's soccer coach, and we've been
Don, I'm
friends ever since.
slowly zeroing in the coordinates of your home. So if you give me a few more hints, I can
Oh
find
yeah.
the secret
Well,
base.
do you know where John lives now?
How long has he been there?
It's been quite a few years. He's in the actually, yeah, since our kids were little, so probably like 15 years or more.
Yes.
But he's in the Priedman Park area, and I'm over on the other side of Banting Park.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
If I drove around with an antenna and a
you'd find
whatever
us.
locator, I could probably find you.
Sure, sure. But no, it's John. I had John's son Dawson on my show because
His
Dawson's,
mullet?
what's that? His
Did you
mullet,
have a
everything.
show
Yeah.
on mullets?
No, it was a radio though, so
Oh,
I think I was the only one that could. Me and my dog were the only ones that could see the mullet, and we were doing, because the station moved from Waukesha to Racine, so Max would be down in Racine, and I would do the show from home. I had I have a broadcasting kit that's pretty cool. That actually, I think Max's father had a hand in designing. You'd really appreciate it. But anyway, Dawson was the goaltender for the state champions a couple years ago at Lake Country Lutheran, and so that was a big deal. We are really excited for him, and for his his dad still goes to a lot of the South sporting
oh
events,
yeah.
and he was at the alumni day in the first game. I don't know if you saw him there, but
Yep.
he was by the tent. So, but it's great to see that camaraderie is very real for South, I believe, among the alumni. And
We'll eventually get to this part of my legend and lore, but
yeah,
I saw the Zers in Arizona when I was working there.
oh really?
We'll get to that after the Hollywood section of
Well, that's
the Q&A.
Well, before we jump into Hollywood, we'll say, okay, we wanted to recognize some things that happened this week in Waukesha and around the world. As you know, we did mention the 40th anniversary of Hannon's. Congratulations. On some more serious notes, we are still figuring out what the school board's still figuring out, which there's definitely kind of an alphabet soup of different plans they're looking at, and we don't know where that's at yet. But there is certainly a bit of maybe anxiety and of course some water cooler talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've been, again, I know you're an employee, so you can only say so much, but
So yes, I am a teacher's aide in the special ed department, also freshman advisor. Those are my two
cool,
roles at
nice,
South,
cool.
shaping young minds, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Opinions vary.
Sure.
But yeah, like we were kind of talking pre-show, there's so many options, and then they added two more and then brought back one of the letters. There is
Okay.
definitely a lot of
Yeah.
elemental P. It is hard
Sure.
following what they're, and so I saw some too where they want to bring, what is it, the seventh and eighth grade maybe to high school, or there was adding more.
I've heard that being kicked around. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I I don't know
Right.
where they would put all those kids. I'm neither an engineer nor a
I
uh,
know one
feng
plan.
shui, but
Yeah, I think one plan was to um they were gonna. I think Corning was gonna be like a super middle school. They would kick sixth grade over to Banting or somewhere else or the other, and then Horning would be a larger seventh and eighth grade middle school that would absorb some of the schools being closed or something like that. I didn't get,
right,
so I know there was talk about that. But it's mostly the elementary and the kind of the middle school levels that'll be most affected, right? There's nothing going on with the high school
yeah. And
yet.
I haven't heard any gossip one way or the other. Not that I'm chummy with any of
Yeah, right.
I'm merely a teacher's aide. No one
Yeah,
tells me anything, but
yeah. The last to know. Yeah.
right. Hey,
No,
don't come in
you only know.
tomorrow. You're going to the super middle Horning school.
Yeah,
Like what?
there you go. Well, then we can meet for coffee in the mornings. I'm working from home.
When
So
I'm done
either works.
shoveling the Zur driveway, I
That's
can come
yeah.
over and
That's right. You'd cover the whole neighborhood. So true. What a couple other serious notes too is that our heart goes out to any of these families, and I'm sure there's quite a few in Waukesha that have been affected by the cuts in the SNAP program with the government shutdown.
hmm
Um, I've also been really impressed to see. I'm on the board of the food pantry serving Waukesha County, and I've seen Lindsey Johnson, the executive director, on being interviewed by local news, and also doing some of those interviews appearing on social media. So I'm glad that she's getting the word out. And if there's one thing you can count on Waukesha is we're all out there for each other.
Oh
So
yeah.
yep, I encourage everyone to check to see how they can contribute to the food pantry or to
And I think
some
South is
departments.
doing their own drive next week,
Are they
bringing stuff
great?
to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So, yeah, acting locally, thinking globally is what we're talking about, and again, hopefully we can whatever we can do to prey upon our leaders to kind of come together and figure this thing out without just the by the what do we want to call it, the polarizing partisan vitriol is just no matter what side you're on, it's not productive and it's
And
not
it
working.
seems like every time you're like, okay, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and then there's some break in, they each give a little and it's over
Yeah,
with. This one seems, I don't know, longer than past. I don't have the numbers in front of me to,
yeah.
quote
So
that, but it just seems like it's dragging on longer than in the
sure,
past.
sure. Yep. We also have there's tomorrow is election day, but I don't think there's really much for Waukesha or Waukesha County to vote on. I think it's more state or national.
Yeah, I didn't see
I haven't
anything
seen any,
either.
yeah, so that's not really a factor for us. But that doesn't mean we can't pick up a phone or send an email, find out who your elected officials are, and put the screws on it. We're done with the partisan fighting. We're all about common sense solutions. So that's
I
my story.
concur.
Yeah, sounds great. So let's jump then into the land of Les Paul, into Hollywood and Rob Baxter's journey.
My journey. Um, so I move out to Los Angeles. Now this is right before, well, the summer of 9/11. Basically. It was right before all that
Right.
happened.
Crazy.
And I had performed at the Improv and at the Comedy Store, and they have different, like, paid regular, unpaid regular. It just
Yeah.
depends how anyone does on a given night,
Right.
how you do it.
Sure.
A funny thing, and this is back in the VHS days, I had
Yeah.
sent a VHS tape. Some of
Hmm.
the fans will have to Google what that is, but sent it to the Hollywood Improv. Just, they get
Yeah.
thousands of tapes back in the
Sure.
day.
Yep.
And someone there watched 3 of the 5 minutes, liked it.
Yeah.
But then I found out when I moved out there, that guy had quit. And I'm like, oh my
Uh,
God, the guy who called and said, hey, we
come
love
on
your
out.
tape. Luckily, he had talked to somebody else there,
Oh, okay.
So the message wasn't totally lost. So I was
Good.
able to perform. You leave your veils once a week,
Yeah.
and they would call if there's an open spot. Now, this with the same thing with the Comedy Store. I had auditioned for Mitzi down at the La Jolla location,
Okay.
and she saw me and was like, "Oh, I like him, make him a paid regular." And
Yeah.
when I say that, it's like it was $15. It wasn't
Yeah.
like some of those checks I still have. I saved. You're not going to cash a $15 check that says
Yeah.
Comedy Store and
Yeah. It's how
Improv.
you
I mean,
frame it. Yeah.
I guess I
It's
should have just
history.
photocopied it and kept the
Yeah.
$15, but whatever.
It's
If
a
that's
couple
the worst
cocktails.
mistake I made over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So
Um,
can I ask real quick
yeah,
though? Did you like kind of save your money up to go to LA? Is that you're kind of
yes.
working on this? Okay, great. And then
Y-
did you have like family or someone to stay with, or you're just kind of going out there like on
I
your
went
own?
out there with two other friends that also had this remarkable idea and saved up. You figure you're like, well, I got enough money for a year.
Yeah.
And then obviously, then you get into that area of, well, I got to get a job while I'm out there. And
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with waiting table. Sometimes you're lucky if you even got that job.
Yeah.
Jobs are hard to find. A
Sure.
friend of mine had moved out there 6 months before me and
Okay.
had gotten a job at a filming location at a movie studio. So
Nice.
I visited him one day. Once again,
Uh,
you can't make these stories up. I visited
right.
him one day. Somebody called in sick, and they're like, "Hey, we need someone to operate the freight elevator to take the crew's lighting and grip gear
Mm,
up and down in the filming studio." So I'm like, I don't know. I've never operated a
right.
freight elevator from 1930. You're talking about like the open sides and OSHA nightmare. So I did that for a day and then went home. Then the
Uh-huh.
guy who showed up, whose job it was, everyone's like, "Oh no, no, we want Baxter, not this other guy."
Yeah.
And then finally, I just got hired there because so many people were asking for me. So
As an elevator operator?
yes, I know.
Nice. What's
So
that?
that's what I did for
Yeah.
4.5 years in
That's
downtown
cool.
LA.
Did you wear a uniform and everything or an outfit?
No, no,
Oh, that would have been
no.
cool
I
though.
wish I had the
Yeah.
with the fake accent. Hello. Uh,
You could have been like that guy and remember the one he was like front door security at that one apartment. He was always a jerk to Jerry. That guy. That was
I
hilarious.
wish I had the cap and the
Yeah.
ascot.
Yeah.
No,
So,
but
but still, that's pretty cool. So you get to rub shoulders with some pretty impressive people then while you're there.
and that's how I got tossed into different movies and commercials.
Yeah.
Directors would put me in kind of as a joke,
Yeah.
and I got enough union days, so then I was
Nice.
able to join SAG and after, which
Oh,
I'm still
sweet.
a member of
Yeah.
now.
Oh, cool.
And that was back when Hallmark movies, people are like, what? Now everyone's like, oh my God, a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish I had done a Christmas movie just so I could be seen in July and
We
in December.
we have a family friend who's in one of those. He got into acting later in life, and it turned out to be a great fit for him. He does a lot of theater. He's done some pretty good independent movies, but he was in this one Christmas movie is filmed in East Aurora, New York, next door to where I grew up in the Buffalo area. It's
Do you
that
remember
the
what it was called?
I'll look it up, but it was where Fisher Price is headquartered. But it was a really we used to call it College Town without a college. It was a great place to do a Christmas movie. Anyway, Max is giving me the stink eye, so I got to wind up this first podcast. So stick around. We're gonna talk more about Hallmark movies and about Rob Baxter's career from Waukesha to Tinseltown and more
And
of
then
his
back to Waukesha.
and back to Waukesha. Yeah, where the story continues here on This Week in Waukesha, the podcast series. Thanks again, and like I said, stick around. Go do your bathroom break, get some water or another adult beverage if that's your thing, or some popcorn, and join us for segment number 2. See ya.